Dr. Cruz, under your predecessor, Dr. Carstarphen, there were some complaints, there were some parents protesting, saying that teachers felt and parents felt that there was a loss of confidence in AISD. How are you going to regain that confidence? How are you going to better communicate with these parents and teachers? Of course, a forum like this helps, right, but what are some other ways?
You know, well, I think it's about working hand in hand with people. It's about acknowledging that, you know, we took some hits on that. Some of our relationships, we have some communities who felt disengaged, who didn't feel connected, and that we weren't listening. What's important, I think, first of all, is to acknowledge it and not say, well, no, we were, and say, no, you weren't. It's a matter of saying, you know, this is the way it was. What can we do to move forward and actually build strong relationships? So in our work, it is about building strong relationships. Just as we talked about social and emotional learning for students. You talk about that in the corporate world. Well, that's also good for us in the education world as well. I do think that's important. I do think it's recognizing that. It's having this opportunity in this time period is going out to different communities and working and looking, you know, working hand in hand with our communities on the different approaches and their different work. That's also just sort of been my approach in general. But I think that we need to really ramp up our approach as far as building positive relationships and fostering the good work that can happen when you do have a strong relationship.
This probably ties into what I read in the Statesman recently when you were talking about tackling the culture of fear in AISD. What exactly do you mean by that, and how are you going to tackle it?
Well, I think first of all, it's talking about what do we want? What are our mutual goals and expectations for our students? I think that's the first point. And it's really having that conversation to say we're really about the same thing. All of us want our kids to excel, to learn and excel. How do we get there? What I also think is important is building trust. So when the conversations occur, it's about having important conversations, having that conversation at the table, being respectful about whatever that is, and then developing a strategy for improvement. And then building trust, it's about follow through. So whatever we said we're going to do, we have to do. If we can't, we have to say that's something we can't do. And it's about being honest about that. But it's always about fostering that positive relationship in having a culture of fear or any culture that isn't conducive to important decision making it's not a good thing. So how to deal with that is just to acknowledge it, to make sure that we say that happened. How do we move forward so that we can actually work together to improve student learning?